Hello everyone and welcome back guys to more RACEROOM, where today we're here testing out the new Dubai Autodrome Grand Prix circuit. Now this one, I'll be honest with you, really does suit RACEROOM to me. Just sort of the cars that are on this game, everything like that, it just sort of made sense, and it was one of those weird circuits that you never really sort of realised wasn't on RACEROOM. Now, Dubai, for those of you that aren't aware, obviously is probably the second best known circuit from the Middle East at the moment, obviously behind the Yas Marina circuit. I'd love to see that come to RACEROOM as well. But yeah, Dubai, I think, legitimately the only game I've seen it on in the past, you know, aside from mods for like Assetto and R-Factor and things like that, I think the only other game this track has really come on was Project Cars 2. I remember doing a couple of races around it on there, but not too much because, well, Project Cars 2. But yeah, with it on RACEROOM now, I really wanted to give it a go. So I picked it up, and yeah, we will wait and see. Now for this one, I am driving the Seat Leon TCR car, or the Seat Capure TCR car, however you want to pronounce it. The wheel is a bit funny. I haven't really got my settings sorted out on Fanatec just yet around here, so it might be a little bit loud in a couple of places, but I've tried to sort it out as best as possible. But yeah, I sort of wanted to have a go in the TCR Seat as well. You know, obviously this track, one of the main races that it's known for is the 24-hour endurance race. I'm pretty certain they also run a 12 around here, so maybe as well I'll have to put these cars up against some GT3s and GT4s at some point if I get a chance as well. But yeah, I have obviously done a couple of practice laps. I'll be honest, I sort of forgot a fair bit about this track. You know, a couple of places I thought were much quicker than they are, and a couple of places very much the opposite as well. But yeah, let's wait and see as to how we fare. This is also, I'm pretty certain, the first time I'm driving this Seat as well. Now obviously I did pick up the WTCR 2019 pack. Drove a couple of them. I remember I did a video, I think, in the new Link, was it called? For TCR 2019, around Zandvoort, and I don't think I made any more videos on it after that. But yeah, it's always nice to jump back in to these cars once again as well. You know, they are probably, you know, the WTCC, the WTCR cars are probably still my most, you know, the most fun to drive on RACEROOM. For me personally, mainly because obviously I did some of the esports comps last year, everything like that, you know, I sort of got used to them as best as possible, you know, relative to most things here on RACEROOM. Yeah, it's always nice to come back to this sim though, nonetheless. I still personally think it's heavily underrated at the end of the day. You know, if they had a better online system, I would definitely be spending a lot more time racing on here. And I really do feel like I said about a lot of sims because, well, iRacing just absolutely dominates because it's got an online system that's fully fledged, fully worked out at the end of the day. Assetto Corsa obviously has a sim racing system that I probably ought to jump back onto at some point as well. And I know RACEROOM does as well, but obviously nowhere near enough in comparison to Assetto Corsa, just because, generally speaking, unfortunately, there isn't quite the interest on it. But let's talk about this track then, and I'll be honest, it seems like a decent model. It's always good fun to drive, everything like that. I guess that's obviously reassuring. I know a lot of things in terms of sim racing are all about the accuracy and everything like that. But yeah, it seems good fun to drive, breaking a little bit early through T1. It suits these WTCR cars as well, which is obviously why I picked them. And yeah, it's an enjoyable experience. Obviously, this is quite a modern circuit, so as you've probably already worked out for those of you that weren't aware of this track beforehand, runoff area, certainly there is enough of it to run off for miles and miles and miles in some places. You can just keep going. But yeah, no, apart from that, obviously that's not really RACEROOM's fault. And yeah, they always seem to do really good remodels of tracks. Obviously they don't laser scan apart from the Nordschleife. But yeah, no, they're still really good fun at the end of the day. But, you know, they always seem realistic enough, and that's the most important thing. And especially where it is, you know, cheap to buy content, everything like that. That always, you know, certainly you feel like, I think this was like 500 VRP. I'm sure it will start getting included in packs as well at some point down the line. You know, it'll get thrown into a pack or two as well. Perhaps they'll make a new pack as well, included in, and everything like that. But yeah, obviously 500 VRP by itself is certainly, you know, that's what, like £3. I think at the end of the day, £3-4, you know, sort of $5 at the end of the day, which certainly is nothing crazy for a track like this, you know, for how good the models are. Unfortunately, obviously, everyone compares everything to iRacing, and usually it makes stuff look very, very good value for money at the end of the day as well. Getting a little bit loose, having a bit of a fishtail as we head in towards the final complex of the lap. But yeah, let's try to go then for a fairly quick lap through in towards the final couple of corners. And yeah, let's really try to get everything out of this car as best as possible through the final corner. Then second gear, nice and early on the power. Want to try to avoid the wheel spin, give yourself a bit of a straight run, just so you don't scrub the fronts as best as possible. Obviously the long run down towards T1 there. 215, 220 kph before you want to be braking just before the 100 meter board as you head down in towards T1. Don't want to try to use the engine brake too much, but you certainly want to rely on it just a bit. And then through T2, use all of the curbing as best as possible. They aren't aggressive curbs, you can't really utilise them around here. It's not like the Nürburgring or anything like that. And then into the chicane, fifth gear there, pretty much flat, and then you basically, just the first part is setting yourself up for the second. A huge amount of understeer. Obviously the front tyres in this thing have to do all the work, struggling for grip, but we do survive those couple of corners. Then now into the hairpin, one of the hardest corners I'd say on the track. I'm trying to go for a bit of a wide in, trying to utilise the front wheel drive and then get a really good run, almost sort of slingshot yourself out of the exit there. And that turn round, you know, I mean, we're 55.3 in the first sector. I don't know if that's particularly competitive or anything like that, but I'll take it at the moment. And then obviously you head down this back straightaway. You want to brake quite early, about 140 metres. You don't get any braking markers, so I'm still braking just a little bit too deep into there at the moment. That definitely, I think there needs to be a 150 marker around this track added as well, because, I mean, at the moment, just unless you're in a Formula 1 car, you're going to struggle to find the correct braking point through a couple of corners around here. But yeah, down through the hairpin once again though, and I think we're doing alright at the moment. It's, I think, just over sort of a 2-minute lap around this track. I might have to have a look on some leaderboards, see if there's any times that have been submitted. Braking at the 100 in towards this hairpin. Obviously the camber sort of works against you, sort of works for you in different parts through there, and obviously you just want to be opening up the run through this 90-degree right there. And now you just got the short blast in towards the final corner there. Brake just before the 50 meter ball, like 70 meters in through the final corner there. Attack the curbs and then through the final corner, and that is a lap of the Dubai Autodrome there. It's going to be a 2-minute 10.1 for certainly some 209s on the car there. I mean, top people are probably looking at 207s, 208s, I would have thought. I don't know how far I'm off around this circuit, but we'll try and go for one more lap. Get the car nice and tightly tucked in through the first couple of corners and attack the curbs again through T2. Now T3, it likes to get a little bit loose, obviously, where the rear does very little. So just skating out there, and we haven't validated. Once again, not too much to worry about, though that's a little bit optimistic through there. The setup, it's not a fan of being worked too hard. It certainly isn't the most forgiving TCR car that I've driven in the past. I always remember, what was it? I drove the Audi back last season, and where it had a bit of a longer wheelbase, I think it was just that little bit, you know, a little bit nicer, a little bit more forgiving, everything like that. But yeah, still good fun at the end of the day. There's certainly a different challenge. I think they do also now run a TCR Spec Cup as well on the RACEROOM. There's a competition for that. Let's see if we can try and actually hit this braking point correctly this time round. That's the best I've done it, so I'll take that at the end of the day there. Trying to get a nice tidy run. You really want to clip the curbs in this thing, and a lot of the curbs here around this Dubai circuit are nice and tidy, nice and easily clippable as well, which is the most important thing. I must admit, RACEROOM's curbs for the most part are very well modelled. They really do sort of feel right to a certain degree. There's not too many around, you know, sort of on RACEROOM in general that are horrible, apart from, you know, places like the Nürburgring where they just are in real life at the end of the day. You really do feel like in a lot of tracks you can sort of rely on them as well. I remember doing some laps around Oschersleben, and yeah, that track really, you know, you feel like you can actually utilise the curbs, utilise the track space on the RACEROOM more than you can on a lot of games there. But breaking down in towards the final couple of corners once again, then it's going to be obviously an invalidated lap time, but is it going to be a 209? Don't know. It was a very high 209. It was pretty much the same time as we had ran first time round there, but I'll take that at the end of the day. We'll try to go for one more run. Actually keep it clean this time around. I'm going to leave it in third through the first couple of corners, just trying to utilise, get as little wheel spin as possible there this time around. You can sort of short shift in the TCR cars for basically the opposite reason of why you want to short shift in a rear wheel drive, is still the car bouncing around all over the curbs. You really got to try and thread the needle, and sometimes you do genuinely feel like you're just got to get a bit lucky with these cars, the way they sort of bounce, the way they grip up, everything like that. Through the hairpin, I'm going to try and keep a bit of a tidier line this time around. Take a lot of curve through there, but I think we made it work just about keep it on the island, and it's going to be a 32 thousandths down in the first split from my PV, so definitely a 209 is on the table. If we can try and break nice and tidily down here, I'm going to try and use that orange marker on the outside, and that's worked quite nicely in the end. I guess you got to really look around to find your breaking point a couple of places around here. You've got to be a bit creative sometimes, and that's always rewarding when you finally do get it right. Shame that is not one of them. Just missed the apex there. Using up the curbs on the exit though. Are we still going to be down? I'd imagine so. Yeah, 2/10 down, so we've got it all to gain in the final sector of the lap. Can we break down into the 209s? Trying to get a little bit late into the hairpin. Try to give yourself a bit of a switchback. Slow in, fast out there through the penultimate corner. And now trying to open up the track width as best as possible. Brake very late in towards the final corner, then 50 metres that time around, and it has worked out in the end. Through the final corner, down towards the line, it's going to be a 209.9. I will take that at the end of the day there. We just snuck it down sub 130 seconds there at the end of the day. But yeah, that is the new Dubai Autodrome Grand Prix circuit. I would highly, highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already here on RACEROOM. It's something a little bit different, but like I said at the start, it really does sort of suit RACEROOM, which is a bit weird, but if you get me, I hope you do sort of understand what I mean. Yeah, it does sort of make sense on this game. But yeah, that'll do us for this video. Then make sure you do get yourself subscribed if you want to see more sim racing content on the channel. We will actually be heading to Yas Marina on Tuesday or Wednesday, because obviously Dirt Rally 2.0 is releasing their new Yas Marina WRX circuit. I'm very, very excited for that as well. But yeah, that'll do us for this one, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for another video.